It's been a minute, but like a fourth quarter comeback, we're back under the lights. Same bloodline, same grind, same love for our black and blue.
From the Queen City to wherever you're tuning in, this is Panther Pedigree, the podcast where we break it down like we're in the locker room. And if you don't know by now,
This is Panther
this is Panther
Pedigree.
Pedigree.
Hey man, looks like we have to make a little bit of a return. How you doing?
Might have to, man. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I think it's been a little bit too long since we've been able to talk about our Panthers on a regular basis, and I think it's about time that we bless all of our fellow Carolina Panthers fan with a podcast that they can get behind.
Yeah, might have to. I just checked actually. It's kind of crazy. I think our last episode was like 2 years ago, February. 2 years ago now, 2023. So
yeah.
long overdue.
Long
So
overdue, man. Long overdue. I mean, life gets in the way, and the schedules get all kind of crazy. But I think we've been able to figure something out that's going to work. That's going to be able to keep us engaged and keep us working on our podcast, this thing that we love so much to do and love doing together.
yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
man. So what's been new with you since the last time we've been on?
Oh man, last couple of years, working. Recently just got back to school, as you know.
Yeah,
Got to go back and play another year of college ball. So
absolutely.
that was a
Absolutely.
pretty cool opportunity.
Yeah.
Definitely gave me some uh, different perspective.
Yeah.
Just being a little older now, like being on the team, I was like the older guys on the team were calling me Unk. Um, definitely, definitely different. I don't know, just being the older guy. Like when the last time I played, I was younger, so
Yeah,
definitely a lot more focused with schoolwork.
definitely.
Just staying locked in with that, just
Yeah.
studying, getting work done. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's really been it. Back to work now, just
Yeah.
mapping out the next steps from here. But this isn't a bad step along the
No,
way.
no. Yeah, no, last time we were on, I was coaching football. And I still am for the same program in a lovely town in beautiful Western Massachusetts. And we were actually getting ready to have your last little brother, Mr. Jacoby Obi.
Kobe.
Yeah, and so yeah, no, since then we've had the last one. I've seen to that, and I'm teaching school now, and my schedule is super conducive to being able to do what we like to do here, and I'll be able to grade papers and do my teaching thing, and then especially like, when football comes around, maybe a little hectic because of my coaching schedule, and we got some games to attend on Fridays and Saturdays and whatnot. But I mean, I think it's going to be great, especially to be able to recap games and stuff. And I think the pace that we have planned out for this, I think is going to be much more doable than what we had before.
Yeah,
Now, why do you think
absolutely.
this is a good time to reboot?
Kind of just a little bit of what I had mentioned earlier. You know, I think going back to school for me personally, I feel like I had to grow. Like I don't know, the last couple of years, it's given me time to grow up a little
Yeah,
bit and just kind of just get new perspective.
yeah,
Um, so I think it's just a great time for it. The
yeah.
draft is literally days away. It's right
Days
around the
away,
corner,
days away.
and I love the Panthers, man, through and
Oh,
through the
I,
good and the bad.
oh my gosh, and it
Love the
has been bad
Panthers.
the
So
last couple of years. I will tell
yeah,
you,
and
life had to slow down for me a little bit. I think it was at a crazy pace. We added the Panther pedigree on, and it was a pace that I could not keep up with. And it was one of those things where I'm like, man, I love doing this so much. I love creating content. I love the feedback that we were getting back from our listeners. I'm actually looking forward to that. I wish we had been able to lock this up a little bit sooner so we can do something like a live draft show. But hey, we're gonna make this work. There's no regrets. Everything we're doing is going to be great.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and then, like I said, with life slowing down and the opportunity to talk about the Panthers that we love talking about so much, we talk about them anyway. Might as well do it for an audience that can give us feedback and tell us what they think and tell us that, we got some great takes or we sound crazy. Either way, I'm going to say it anyway. If you think it's a good idea or if you think it's a bad idea, like, we have our opinions. Man, so we didn't get to talk about Dave Canales coming on.
No,
We didn't get to talk about Fitterer being fired and Dan Morgan being hired. I think that's going to be a little bit of an episode that we can tackle next time. We didn't get to talk much about Bryce Young, because I think one of our last episodes was we were getting ready for the draft, and we were, hoping it went one direction and maybe went another direction. And we're not going to put it out there. You can go look at that episode if you want to figure out what we were thinking was going to happen. But at the end of the day, it's no, BY9 is our guy, right? BY9 is our guy, and toward the end of last season, he was, hey, there's the shirt right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. I don't have a Bryce shirt, but I've got my Panthers. There you go.
Pro Club tee.
There you go. And don't mind my I'm sitting in the war room right now. I'm working on a studio space still, so right now I'm kind of, yeah, I like it. I do like it. I mean, I feel like I'm in the war room. And if I can't get a studio space by the time we do our show, this is going to be the background, because I actually do like it. I mean, I was telling him, I'm like, tell me if it's corny, but I really don't care at the end of the day. I think it's pretty smooth.
That's smooth.
But yeah, so I mean, we've had some ups and downs with our Panthers. I mean, the hiring of Frank Reich and the firing of Frank Reich and that whole coaching staff, and the Hunger Games mentality that was happening there. I mean, just so much going on, man. Just so much going on. Yeah. I can tell you that seeing the flashes of greatness last year, that Bryce Young is built like that. He's like that. He's got some stuff that I think we can as Panthers fans say, this is probably the stuff that a future franchise quarterback, he has. And I think we saw that. I think I was concerned with size and would he be able to replicate that production that he had in Auburn? Oh my goodness. So I'm sorry, War Eagles. Crimson Tide in Alabama. Auburn was the previous guy. Mr. Newton. We'll talk about him later too. Not today, but on another episode. But I think he has the makings of being able to do something really good for this franchise, and I'm personally really excited about it. So let's not wait. We're almost 7 minutes into this episode, and let's get to brass tacks. So free agency is one of the things that I wanted to go ahead and kind of delve into real quick, just so we can set the scene, because we got to set the draft scene before we can really talk brass tacks about the draft. So didn't want to do a complete free agency rehash, but I mean, you do know that we re-signed Chuba Hubbard in the season to a deal. I like the idea. I mean, I think there was some concern that Jonathan Brooks wouldn't be ready, and by golly, he wasn't ready. He lasted a game and a few minutes into the next game. So I think that was a really good thing to lock down, like what they want to kind of be the face of the franchise. I think it's not ideal. Chuba's not like a rah-rah guy, so it's kind of hard to call him the face of the franchise, but I mean, he does it the right way. You ideally want Bryce to be the face of the franchise. But then as far as free agency go, we've got some good guys, man. We signed Bobby Brown III, interior tackle, from LA.
Yep.
Trayvon Moehrig, box safety dog from the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite signings.
I'm most excited about him. Yeah.
Friggin', I don't know too much about him, honestly. Yeah. When we signed him, I didn't know a lot about him, but just looking at just film and some video and talking to some other people through social media, other Raiders fans, they're very high on him. So it got me excited.
Yeah, no, I mean, his coverage grades were mid, but I mean, the man plays. I mean, he's box safety, so he's going to come up and help with the run game. I mean, a lot of what you see, his run game defense grades are pretty high on PFF. We will spend some time in a later episode talking, real deal about some of this free agency class, but I mean, we just want to kind of cover it so we can help set the scene. So we talked about Bobby Brown III. It's his prerogative. Interior tackle from LA. Rico Dowdle, that was an exciting pickup. I mean, obviously with the injury to Jonathan Brooks, re-injuring that ACL, we needed to bring in a running back that could split the duty with Chuba and give him a solid backup. So what do you think about Rico Dowdle?
Yeah, I was surprised about this one. Actually, I think I didn't even find out. I think you were the first one that sent it to me. But I was shocked, honestly. I didn't even know he was on a contract or was on free agent. Because considering the season he had in Dallas, even though the wreck that they were over there this past year, I was excited and I was like, wow.
That's how I feel about Dallas.
Yeah, we're gonna get Hopefully, there's no Dallas fans watching. But honestly, my first initial thoughts were just getting Chuba Hope because obviously, like
Yeah.
Jonathan Brooks went down.
Yep.
We don't really know what's in store for him yet. I
Yep.
mean, to be determined. But yeah, I mean, it gives another guy to split carries
Yeah.
with Chuba, so he's not carrying the whole load and risking injury, especially after extending him. So
Oh,
I like
absolutely.
the move.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Chuba went out and had his best game of his career in Germany right after signing that deal. So, I mean, it was, in my opinion, it was money well spent. I mean, it's a position that it's tough. Like, you want to spend money on it, you want to have it locked down, but you want to be careful how much you spend, because especially a franchise like ours that has so many kind of weird contracts and stuff that we kick the can down the road. Not as bad as the New Orleans Saints, because that's crazy how bad their salary cap situation is. But we have enough contracts that we kick down the road that we need to kind of let happen. David Moore we brought back, kind of talking about more of our guys. Brady Christensen we brought back. Austin Corbett we brought back. Dan Chisena, wide receiver. Again, he's not anybody that's going to completely reform our wide receiver room, but he's a guy. It's a guy, potential returner, add a body into that wide receiver room. Christian Roseboom. I guess they call him the exploding flower, linebacker. What do you think?
Did they really?
Yeah, man. Well, the thing is, they interviewed him and he said, "Oh, yeah, I feel like that's something that you guys just came up with." And I'm like, "Oh, so okay, so you're not even about that. Okay, cool.
Go crazy.
Yeah, go crazy. Yeah, he really he didn't bite too much. It didn't sound like anything he was super familiar with. And then kind of rounding it out, Nick Scott, safety. We're I mean, again, we're bringing a couple guys back. They don't. I mean, it was a historically bad defense. You do need depth, so I mean, you can't blow up the entire thing. But I mean, we definitely did make a couple of solid moves on the defensive side. The running back, obviously Rico Dowdle. I mean, he destroyed us when we played Dallas. I mean, that man ran through our historically bad defense, and had a career day himself. But yeah, no, just and then we re-signed cornerback Michael Jackson. So once we signed J.C. Horn, we were able to bring back Mike Jackson, which I thought was a great move. I mean, because he actually had some decent coverage grades as well. Again, we'll go over like details later on as far as how they did in a later episode. So, draft capital, man. So we hold the 8th pick in the draft in the first round, day one.
8th pick, yeah.
8th pick. We did end up picking up a round 2 pick from the Rams through trade.
Yep.
We do have a round 3 pick, which picked 74, which is our natural pick. We have 2 round 4s, pick 111, which is ours, and then we have pick 114 from the Cowboys. We have round 5. We have 3 picks in round 5. Pick 140 from the Giants. We have pick 146. That's ours. And then we have pick 163 from the Ravens. Okay. And then we have no round 6 pick, but we do have a round 7 pick from the Cardinals. So, I mean, we have picks in every round but the 6th round, which I'm not overly concerned with, because when you have 2 4th rounders and 3 5th rounders, I think that more than makes up for not having a 6th round pick. What do you think about trading? What do you think about if we traded up? Would you want to go from 8 to higher? Or do you want to go 8 lower? I mean, I'm just talking first round. I mean, anything can happen after that, but I think first round, what would you like to see happen? Do you want to see us stay and make a pick?
This is like an interesting. That's a good question. It's interesting because I feel like I'd be so sure in previous years.
Yeah.
I just think like the draft class, even in like the last few years, it's so like hit or miss.
Yeah.
We really haven't had like a consistent scenarios, I guess, or consistent years where like draft classes come in and are like, oh, they're insane. Like they're all like just blow your mind away talent.
Right. Absolutely.
I forget, there was one year where they were like gaslighting the draft class with like Zach Wilson,
all those quarterbacks
that went like top 5, like a couple of Zach Wilson and someone else I can't remember, but they're not even on the same team that got drafted to. So
no,
I try to like, with time now and like more experience watching the media coverage and stuff, I kind of try to take it with a grain of salt.
Yep.
With that being said, it's tough because I mean I do like a couple guys
Yeah.
at 8.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they're gonna be there at 8.
Yeah.
So if it's a situation where we go back,
Yep.
I think we were also talking about this
Yeah.
over text recently. If we go back to 10 or 12
Yep.
and we get another second round or third round, I'd prefer second.
Yeah.
But good compensation for going
Yeah.
back like
Yeah.
just a few spots.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, going to that 2021 draft that you were talking about. That was the one that was headlined by one Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, Zach Wilson to the Jets at number 2, Trey Lance to the Niners at number 3. Go down to pick 8, the same pick we hold this year. One J.C. Horn, who we just extended. The pick
Yep.
9 just after him was Patrick Surtain. Justin Fields went to the Chicago Bears on that one. And then there's got to be the same draft class. The New England Patriots selected Mac Jones. Yep.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I mean those
Yep.
are all names. I mean the media was like crazy to blow them up.
Trash draft class, man, especially with the
I
quarterback
think,
grades.
yeah, I think the only person, Trevor Lawrence, I think he's like the only person that's still on the team that drafted him. So
Yeah, and Trevor's he's not like having a stellar career. So
yeah,
that is I mean, again, the 2021 draft class may be one of the most infamous. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's actually a good take on that.
yeah,
So
it plays a factor.
yeah,
I think I was more. I guess I got sidetracked with that idea.
yeah.
I'm thinking more along the lines of like the conversation between Cam Ward and Shador and where they're gonna go.
Oh,
And it kind
absolutely.
of
Yeah.
brings me back to that. It was like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
both great
Yeah.
talents, great athletes. It's just how is it going to transition? I mean, any pick, you never really know how it's going to work out till they get to the league.
So no, that's true because I mean you got to consider that. I mean even the CJ Star, Bryce Young. I mean CJ ended up coming out as rookie of the year, and Bryce a year to forget.
Yeah,
And I mean it's on top of having so much drama in the locker room with Frank Reich and his staff. It
yep,
was tough. It was tough. So I mean, it's one of those draft classes I like to forget. Well, I mean, for me, trade up, trade back, stay put. The only person I'd want to trade up for is Abdul Carter, but I'm still burned. I'm still burned by trade ups and the loss of assets. So I'm not looking for the loss of high end assets right now. I think we should be in collect mode, collect as much as you can, collect as often as you can. So my thought would be ideally, I mean, we can run a mock and basically say that, I mean, you have everybody's mocking us for Jalen Walker. I feel
right,
like Jalen Walker is a guy that is undersized for his position. He really only played 1 year at that outside that outside end, the D end stand up outside linebacker
yep,
and off ball linebacker. He played off ball linebacker prior, and then now they're kind of like touting him as an edge rusher. And I'm not loving it. I mean, yeah, do I think of Dwight Freeney? Do I think of guys like that? Yeah, but I mean, Dwight Freeney is such a unicorn, like a guy that's like right around that 6'1", that 6 foot to 6'1", and dominant. I mean, Aaron Darnold was another guy, but he's interior tackle, but he's another shorter guy, but he dominated. I'm not. Again, I guess if I fall back into that Bryce Young argument, I need guys that look the role, but not just look the role, but have the production to back it up. Because what happens is now you start looking at edge rushers, and the edge rushers that they're mocking to us is Jalen Walker that has production. You have Abdul Carter that has production, but he's like a Micah Parsons clone, up down to the number, down to the school he went to. We're not going to touch him. They talk about Michael Williams. I don't mind him. Here's what I'm thinking. All of the guys that they're mocking us will be available if we trade back.
right,
So when you think about that, I don't want to say that, okay, we have to trade back. No, because I feel like that'll devalue the pick, right? That'll make it so that teams that do call us, we're going to offer us pennies on the dollar. I think that we really should consider what that means. I mean, don't take a subpar deal. If it's a subpar deal, stay where you are, pick your guy, and we'll live with it. But if you can, get king's ransom for somebody trying to climb the ladder to come get Shador, do it. like legit do it. I'm okay falling back as far as 15, right? Like, I mean, if you look at the draft order for this year's NFL draft, I believe that, I don't know, I mean, I could go 15. Looking at the picks here,
I think I saw one with is New Orleans. New Orleans is 10, right?
no, they're 9, so we're 8. New Orleans is 9.
Okay, because I know I
So
saw one of them, like us trading back one spot.
so I could so let's go. If we went 15, that's Falcons. I don't see if the Falcons wanting to do business with us, and that we wouldn't get a good deal. I mean, the Colts don't need a quarterback. I mean, technically they do, because Anthony Richardson isn't great, and then they just re-signed Joe Flacco, which that quarterback room, whatever. The Dolphins don't need a quarterback. The Cowboys have Dak, so I think they're still heavily involved. The Niners have Brock Purdy. The Bears have Caleb Williams. So, I mean, anybody in that 10 to 15 range have quarterbacks. Even 16, the Cardinals have a quarterback. The Bengals have a quarterback. The Seahawks they traded Geno Smith. Who do they have? Could the Seahawks?
The Seahawks, who they have?
Tampa's 19. They have Baker. 20s Denver. They have
Sam Howell, I guess.
Sam Howell. Jeez. 20s Denver. They have Bo Nix. So 21. Would you feel comfortable falling back to 21 if the Steelers called you with?
Oh no, they got Sam Darnold.
Who got Sam Darnold?
Seahawks.
Seahawks do have Sam Darnold. You're absolutely right. That's where he went. That's right. No, you're right. Yeah, no, Seahawks paid him.
Almost forgot.
I completely forgot. I'm trying to forget anything with Sam Darnold. I mean, doing well, not in our system, but that's another conversation for a later time. So, would you feel comfortable trading back to pick 21 if the Steelers came correct with a package of picks that included next year's first round? Maybe, next. I mean, I don't know. I don't see you getting 2 years worth of first rounds, but
I'm okay with trading back that far. Like you said, if a guy like a Luther Burden the third, I'm honestly, if we're going that far back, I'm thinking offense now. My mind goes to offense. So I'm thinking like Matthew Golden, Luther Burden the third, guys who like quick speedsters who can create separation. And another weapon for Bryce, because I know that's something else that a lot of these analysts and stuff have been talking about too. Is like maybe they don't go defense. So I think
I'll get back to that, because I mean, we're not done with that, because I think you know where I'm going to go with that one.
All right,
but
I got a little ahead of myself.
No, you're good. I'm actually glad. So you'd be. I don't know what they would package for us to fall back from 8 to 21. Man, that's a big jump. That is a huge fallback. They'd have to come correct. They'd have to give us next year's first. I'm thinking a third this year. I don't love it. I don't love the idea of falling back that far. But if we get a king's ransom in assets, do it up. I'm all in. I honestly got in. I don't want to pay. I don't want to grab subpar talent and force the pick. Right. I understand overdrafting and things like that. But if you feel like you can get somebody that's high on your draft board that far. So you did bring it up. So I'm going to bring it up. So who the popular pick has been to mock to us that is not a defensive pick. And a lot of drafts have him falling beyond us and I mean, in some ways it could be considered an overdraft for us. But what would you think about picking up one Tetro McMillan from the Arizona are they Wildcats? Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, Arizona Wildcats. Yeah, I mean he's a stud. I mean, he's got great length. A lot of good people have compared his size to like a Mike Evans or Mike Evans potential.
Yeah.
The only thing, I don't know. I'm not sold on him.
Me either.
For some reason.
I'm not seeing the separation skills that I want. I feel like I'm kind of snake bitten with the Xavier Legette pick. I like him. Don't get me wrong. All right, please don't guys don't jump on me. Like X is a good receiver. He had some dropsies issues. I don't buy the wrist issues. Like you get paid to play ball. Like, I mean, if you're playing, then you've accepted the fact that you're going to, and you need to come correct. So don't give me the wrist issues. Wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Now, what am I talking an unmitigated disaster? Is he, trash? Absolutely not. I'm actually pretty excited to have X on our team. Does having Xavier Legette preclude you from wanting to pick up a Tetra or McMillan? Like, would you pick up 2 wide receivers in technical first round, because we did trade back into the first round, pick up Xavier Legette? Would you make that pick? You're sitting in Dan Morgan's seat. The first picks line up that obviously Cam Ward goes to the Titans, and let's call Abdul Carter or even Travis Hunter goes to the Browns. Let's go to number 3. Let's go New York Giants. They pick up. I mean, do you give them? So they pick up. Okay, they pick up Abdul Carter or they pick up Abdul Carter. Let's give the Browns Travis Hunter. Let's give the Giants Abdul Carter. The Pats, I could see them picking up like an offensive lineman.
So Will Campbell.
Then there's the kid. I forget his name. They'll come to me.
Or Mason Graham. He's the D lineman, right?
So I was actually going to kick Mason Graham to the Jaguars. I was going to go Ashton Gentry to the Raiders, and then that leaves the Jets, and I was going to give them the tight end. What's my boy?
Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren. Thank you. I think
from Penn State.
I think that's where I'm going to go. So when you get to that point, what are you thinking? How are you feeling about either? It would have been Will Campbell or Armand Membu for the Patriots. I'm sorry, Armand Membu. So that's how the draft board fell. So you have Jalen Walker available. So you have every edge rusher that is not named Abdul Carter available. You have every tight end. I'm sorry, every wide receiver available, including Tetra McMillan. What?
I mean, other Panthers fans are going to come at me because I've just seen like everyone else is like crazy about him, but I'm just not. I don't know. Like I'm not getting him. Like I've been through the Kelvin Benjamin Towers,
Devin
Funchess, and now we're trying to do a Xavier Legette with a McMillan.
Terrace Marshall Jr. Right.
I don't like the idea of having 2 big bodies. Like I think nowadays with the passing game, like you only really need 1 big body. I mean, you have like a DK Metcalf to a George Pickens now.
Yeah.
That's just one example of a couple others I can probably think of. Like Mike Evans, like I have just mentioned, Mike Evans to Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin is a bulkier dude, bulkier receiver, but he's not like a big body frame. So
Facts.
I like the idea of pairing like a bigger body receiver with like a quick dude, a speedster, a guy who can, like a guy like we had last year. I don't even know what happened. Deontay Johnson, a guy who can get separation, quick out of the break, and just be a dependable guy.
Yeah. I like that. So that's where we sit, right? We Tetra. I think I'd be mad. I say I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. I'm gonna kind of go back. I'd be mad. I don't want a receiver that. Granted, he has some unicorn-esque skills, but I would feel like the mid 2000s Lions picking wide receivers in back-to-back drafts, and you just can't make any of them work. Right. And I don't want like I feel like the wide receiver room is not ideal, but unless you're adding a unicorn, like what are you doing? Like honest to goodness,
right?
Like, and then I feel like there's picks to be had when you talk about how many picks, how many day 2 picks, and how many day 3 picks we have. I think there's wide receivers to be had. It's not the deepest wide receiver draft, but there's going to be guys that can be had. I mean, some like, and you will have guys that fall. Like I truly do believe that. All right. So you're GM. Who's your top target at pick 8? You're on your big board. You know what we've done. You know how bad that defense was. Who is your top target at pick 8?
Is this like a dream, like a dream pick, or
let's go. We'll do dream. We'll both do dream picks. We'll both do realistic picks, and we'll both do please God don't do that picks.
Okay. All right. So dream pick. Shoot. That's actually I was very sad. Okay, dream pick is Travis Hunter. I think Travis is probably he's easily the number one player in this draft class. And he fills two needs that we need. I mean, yes,
Wide
we got
receiver and
Mike Jack
quarterback.
and JC, but I think having more cornerback depth
Yeah.
is great. Also receiver, given Bryce and other guys. So I'm sitting back thinking, I'm like, dang, I know we have no shot at getting him, but I'm like, Travis Hunter literally fits the Panthers need the
Absolutely.
two top needs perfectly.
So I'll give you that because it's dream pick. So for me, my dream pick would be Abdul Carter. I've watched so many Penn State games, and I've watched
I'm not mad at that.
film. Like Abdul Carter's a freak. He's a pure freak. Like I can't give it any other way. So a dream pick would be that everybody lost their damn mind during the draft, and Abdul Carter falls to 8. And I'm sitting there going, can y'all run the card in fast enough? Like don't even let any time. I want to see Dan Morgan like move Roger Goodell out the way and go. And for the 8th pick, the Carolina Panthers will select Abdul Carter. Like I want that to happen. I just. But again, that's a dream pick.
I get crazy. I get crazy.
Come on, man. Like I come on. I'll be out of my mind. I'd be out of my mind.
No.
Realistic. So in reality, so we have to go back to reality. What's going to happen 2 days from now?
What's yours? You can.
Reality. I'm going to tell you because I keep seeing that Jalen Walker is not a prototypical size, and it's not that and he only had 1 year at the edge rusher because outside of that he was off-ball linebacker. We don't necessarily need another off-ball linebacker with Josie Jewell, and now we have Christian Roseboom. I think you're just kind of flooding that position. So I have a feeling that we're going to end up doing something like grabbing a guy that has prototypical size but not ideal production, like a Mike Green, or Shamar Stewart, or a Mykal Williams. I'm not mad at it.
At 8?
At 8, though? I don't want to do it at 8. But hold on, who's the kid from Boston College? I should be ashamed of myself. Trevor Sikkema keeps mocking to us. He is like all about. He actually mocked them. He mocked this kid from Boston College to
at 8.
At 8, well, he keeps saying like Donovan Ezeraku, crazy production. So Ezeraku is a smaller outside linebacker, edge type rusher who struggles with the power aspects of the game. However, quick, smooth, pairs with football IQ, some nice bend, ideal 3-4 pass rush. So we're a 3-4 system, and I'm telling you, Trevor Sikkema is all about this guy. Every mock draft, and I'll send you a couple. Trevor Sikkema, even at the Panthers mock draft, he goes Donovan Ezeraku. I'm like, dude, like I can see that, but that feels like an overdraft. Like, at that point, I'm like, Steelers, please call me. Like I'll take it. Like if I like Donovan Ezeraku, I need somebody I need a trade back partner because I feel like but I feel that way with every one of those edge rushers. I just don't feel like they're worthy of that pick. So then I start going, okay, what about Ted? No, I don't want Ted. So like, what do we do at 8? The only thing I can tell you is something goofy happens where like Mason Graham falls, right? Like that is like ideal. Hold on, here's that idea. What about Tyler Warren? Would you draft Tyler Warren at 8? Tight end.
So I've been seeing that too, and I get it. I get it, but I don't get it. Like he's a stud of a tight end. Like he can after the catch, like he can make
ridiculous
damage. He's a big body. Like
he's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's rightfully so. Like the top tight end in the draft. I just don't see the fit in Carolina, especially after last year in the 4th round we got Jatavian Sanders.
I was a little nervous after the Chiefs game, and he hurt his neck, and he wasn't the same when he came back. But he could have been having some lingering issues. It could have been the head game, right? I don't want to, get hit again and have that happen. But he wasn't the same after that Chiefs game.
Okay, that's fair.
But again, I'm not saying I'm not trying to sell you. I'm just saying. I'm just creating scenarios.
I could see something like that happening. I don't hate the pick because obviously he's a ridiculous tight end, and
But
We're
does it
talking
feel a
about a
need?
weapon.
Like, I feel like, yes, you can do best player available, but it's like, it's not a need. Like, we're not bringing back Ian Thomas. Thank you. Like, I've struggled with that since Greg Olsen retired. I knew Ian Thomas wasn't the guy, but it's like, I feel like like that tight end spot can be filled later in the draft. I don't need a top end tight end. I don't feel like we're there. How about the please don't do that pick? Like, what would make you immediately shut your TV off after Roger Goodell announced pick 8?
Oh God. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to mess this up, really. I guess the Boston College player. I actually don't.
He's like, if it happens at pick 8, I'm done. I'm done.
If
I'm
it's
done.
someone I don't know, because I've been
what if
looking
we
deep.
turn into the Raiders like all of a sudden and start drafting guys that are like have 3rd round grades and like, what are we doing? I'm like, why are we doing this? I can see how Izaraku. What would make me turn my TV off immediately? Ted McMillan. Like, I know Panthers
Makes
fans
me
are
a
gonna be
little
like,
upset.
he's a weapon. I'm like, but we don't. But he doesn't fit the mold that we need. It's like, it's a luxury pick. I feel the same way when everybody was like freaking out last year about the Patriots drafting Marvin Harrison. It's a luxury pick. You don't even know who your quarterback is. Like, how are you how are you parking a Maserati in a trailer park? And I'm so sorry for all my trailer park people who live out there. No harm, no foul. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't even think Tet is as good as Marvin Harrison.
No, that's not even in the same
So
conversation.
why would you pick a wasted top 10 pick on him?
And that's the thing. I'm not sold on Tet on
So I'd be
how
mad.
the people were sold on Marvin Harrison. Like, that is a surefire. Like, how people are talking about Jeremiah Smith right now, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be that sold on a receiver in the top 10. If they're not on that level, I don't want him at 8.
That's so true.
And Tet is not that.
And you have to look back at our pick 8s, right? Like our pick 8s and pick 9s, like Christian McCaffrey, Luke Kuechly.
Yes.
Like, you got to go back. Like,
Game
and
changers.
if you're going to pick a guy in the top 10, he better be able to move the needle. And I don't see any needle movers that they're mocking to us. Like, even include you, Jalen Walker, who I hope to one day be able to talk to, but like, I don't necessarily want you at pick 8. I really don't. All right.
It's a tough one. And to add to that real quick,
yeah.
No other team is taking Jalen Walker in the top 10, 15. I don't, besides the Panthers, all the mocks.
So why are we? I'm with you.
I think maybe Atlanta at 15, because I know
that's
Atlanta's
15 though.
Struggling with the pass rush.
But that's 15. Like, to me, 50. I feel better about 15. I feel like we are truly missing out on something if we're drafting a guy, in my opinion, 7 positions out of place.
Right.
Like, I'm like it's way too high for me. It's way too high. But again, this is a year where Cam Ward's going 1, and I think in most drafts, Cam Ward is not the top quarterback on the board. I don't.
No, probably not.
All right. How about surprise names to watch? So how about some guys that have caught your eye that I mean, it doesn't have to be first round, but guys that surprise names to watch out for that we might be looking
at. I've been following Colorado pretty heavy. I know
I got you.
I might sound kind of delusional.
No, you're good. You're good.
But I've been following them heavy. And just being a receiver, just kind of the way I look at the game. I really do admire a couple of the receivers over there.
Yep.
Outside of Travis Hunter.
Yep.
More specifically, Jimmy Horn Jr.
Yep.
And another guy out of Oregon. He's a smaller body, but Tej Johnson, because I know a lot of people have been talking about his size, but you have guys like Tyler Lockett, Jamison Williams, small dudes that Devontae Smith.
Yep.
So I think he could be another one of those caliber kind of players that he was in Oregon for another team. So I'm excited about them. Also, Luther Burden was like, I think like originally before the year started, they had us mocked to get like James Pierce and Luther Burden. So Luther Burden was like the top receiver people were talking about before this season, and he just had an off year. So I think he's a sleeper too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna give you my sleeper pick because it's a position of need for us. And I can only hope that we see him maybe we package something and move up into the second round because I don't think he's going to last that long. But Xavier Watts, safety out of Notre Dame. I like him. I like him a lot. I think if the safety position wasn't so devalued, he'd be a top pick in the draft. Like I think he'd be top 15. But I think because the safety position has been so devalued that he will go, he's probably a day 2 pick. I mean, maybe somebody will take a flyer on him day 1. It's kind of hard drafting a safety unless you just don't have anybody. But I would say my surprise name to watch out for is that we may move for Xavier Watts, safety from Notre Dame.
Okay. All right.
So
check them out.
Anybody you looking at on day 2 and day 3, and you actually were talking about a few guys that were probably day 2, day 3 picks. Anybody else that might have caught your eye for day 2 and day 3?
So day 2, given that we may go pass rush or tight end potentially. I probably mentioned this. I sound like a broken record, but
there you
go. I don't think Matthew Golden slips out of the first round.
Yep.
But I like Golden.
Yep.
I don't really another Texas receiver, Isaiah Bond.
I like Bond. I like Bond.
I know he's got some like legal issues going on right now.
That that's right. I did read that.
Kind of up in the air. So, but I mean, I love Isaiah Bond.
Yeah.
I think because of that, he could fall.
Yeah.
Probably day 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But honestly, as far as that, I've been really invested with receivers. Not only because we need them, but just playing the position. I don't know. I kind of admire and appreciate the position a little differently. So
absolutely. No, listen, we need that kind of coverage on the pod right here, man. Because I mean, you're that guy. For me, I'm going to kind of tap the same position again. I'm going to go safety, Nick Emanwari from our beloved Gamecocks. He's a safety. I like the way that man moves. I mean, he's a prototypical size. He's 6'3", 227. So he's kind of got that box safety size. Like he looks like he could be a linebacker, and he's an aggressive player. I like him so much. I like edge rusher. Kind of do it all, like just I feel like he's one of those workman style guys. But Jack Sawyer from Ohio State.
Okay, I do like Jack Sawyer.
Dude, that man,
big body.
Woo, 6'5", 260. Like that's
6'5", okay.
That's a monster of a human.
And he's just everywhere, man. Like the college football playoffs, he was
literally everywhere.
Oregon game was the one that I was watching. Sorry, I mean, but
absolutely
the Oregon game,
that
was a hard watch for me being a Ducks fan. But
I'm sure. Listen, we came up as Ducks fans together, man. I'm there with you.
He's a monster though. Like he was just everywhere, like cross field. Like I was having nostalgia. Like thought I was watching Luke Kuechly or something. that day, I was like, oh my gosh, he's everywhere.
No, he really is. It really is. So, what do you think are positions we should try to double dip on?
That's another good question. You come in with the good questions. Got me thinking.
Told you we're making a comeback. We have to have things that our fans, our listeners want to see. I'm asking you the hard questions.
Double dip. We really can't go wrong with linebackers, especially being in a Ajir Evero 3-4.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we got a couple guys last year.
Yep.
Wallace? No, not Wallace.
Yeah.
Was it Wallace?
Trayvon Wallace.
Trayvon Wallace. I know he kind of came into his own a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of forced into action because of injuries to Shaq Thompson and what's his name, Josie Jewell. He was forced into action quite a bit. I mean, he had to grow up fast. Yeah.
So I'd say that.
Linebacker,
I mean, you can never go wrong with secondary. I mean, corners. I mean, it's just good to have depth.
Yeah.
It's such a pass-heavy league.
It really is.
JC is always. I know we signed him.
Yeah.
I know a risk with signing him is the injuries because this was like the first, not even a full year, but like the first darn near full year he's played healthy. Played 15 games or something like that out of the 18 games. So
absolutely,
having cornerback depth is good. I think we're also like bottom, like in the 20s or 30 in passing yards
Yeah.
allowed or
Yeah.
something like that. Or I think it was rushing yards. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, secondary and linebackers. I do like that we beefed up the D line, so that's the only reason I didn't mention that.
So I'm gonna do what you didn't do. I'm gonna say, please give me multiple edge rushers. Now, I want them drafted at the right spots. This is a very deep edge rushing class. Please give me multiple edge rushers. And the reason why I'm saying that is Patrick Jones III is a situational edge rusher. Okay, he has high rush grade. I'm sorry, high pass rush grades, but low run game grades. So again, he's situational. You're gonna put them in on pass downs. Please give me multiple edge rushers. Like, please lock that down. I would say double dip, edge. Like, I mean, grab one in the second, grab one in the third. I'm not saying go like, Matt Rule and go all defensive draft. I do want to see some offensive talent. Safety. I sound like a broken record. I feel like the Panthers defense was never better than when we had safeties like Mike Minter. When we had safeties like not Xavier Woods. Why am I
Coleman?
Kurt Coleman, that's what I was thinking.
Roman Harper.
Roman Harper, bro. Like, our defense, when we had those guys, those top down guys, right? They had, decent coverage grades, decent run support grades. We need to beef up that safety room. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's a bigger deal than people are making it out to be. And I feel like you're going to want to beef up the line. You've got your corners. I like where we are, Mike Jack and JC Horn. I know we need depth, but I also am going to tell you that safety room has been heavily neglected, and we really need to do work in bringing in good safeties. So I'm going to say, give me more edge rushers, give me more safeties, and I would not be mad at a couple of properly picked wide receivers. So you can double dip there. All right. Give me a sleeper pick. Somebody that nobody's looking at, that you're gonna be sitting there like, you just won the lottery because you called it right. Who are the Panthers looking at that nobody's paying attention to?
At 8? Or just in general?
In general. You can do 8. You can do in general. Whatever. It's your world, Squirrel.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned safety. I actually have 2. I'll say, well, I wouldn't say sleeper because I've seen mocks.
Yep.
But I would go Starks.
Okay.
I would also go Will Johnson because I think he's been severely not. I don't think he's been talked about enough. Will Johnson from Michigan.
You just stole mine.
Oh, really?
Wow. All right, man. I see. Now you got the pressures on. I gotta go pick another one now. Well, I got to pick a bold pick. Mine was a bold pick.
I like Will Johnson. I mean, I understand people saying like the negative. I don't know. I don't really understand the cons. I know people have mentioned, or analysts have mentioned, like his ability to like stay with the receiver or something like that. Like losing like them creating separation with him. But I think he by far has the best footwork of all I think he arguably is the best defensive back in the draft. I know Travis Hunter is very highly talked about, but he relies on his athleticism. I think Will Johnson is a lot more mechanical, like a JC Horn, like where they rely on their footwork and their technique.
They're very technique driven. I agree with that.
He's not small. He's like 6'1", 6'2", and he fills the run, and he's really good at run contain.
Yeah,
he's not afraid to put his head in his shoulders in there, or get his head into the run game, contain the run, and I think he leads Michigan with the most pick sixes or something like that.
Absolutely.
So I mean, he's a ball hog. So that's definitely a pick I could see them going. That I don't think a lot of people are talking about as much.
All right, so my turn. So I gave you the sleeper. I'm going to go bold pick. So Big P's bold prediction. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So Cam Ward goes to the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
Abdul Carter is left on the board because the Cleveland Browns select Travis Hunter. The Giants shock the football world and pick up Shador Sanders because everybody's like kind of mocking them and picking up. The Carolina Panthers call the New England Patriots, flip picks, give up way too much, and we go up and get Abdul Carter.
Wow.
I'm not happy about it. It's a bold prediction. It's not what I want.
That's wild.
But it's a bold prediction.
Man, y'all took Milton Williams. You can't
Took
have
Milton Williams.
Abdul Carter either.
So that is my bold prediction. The Panthers, the Abdul Carter somehow slips past 3, moves to 4. We call the Patriots. We offer them too much. They take it happily. Mike Vrabel is happy. I'm sad because we're probably out like a very nice draft pick next year, which would irritate me. But
again,
tell me about it. Well, we pick up Abdul Carter. That's my bold prediction. All right. I'm not going to sit on it too long because it's making me sad thinking about it. Although I like Abdul Carter, I don't like losing assets. Right. Okay. So we're gonna do a lightning round. Draft strategy for Bryce. Is this thing still about building around Bryce Young?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's hard to explain it, but
yeah.
I feel like he proved that he is the quarterback. It doesn't seem like it right now. Honestly, I think a lot of questions could get answered in the draft. But I do not mad that the offseason's emphasis has been on defense.
Yeah.
You have to get. I mean, defense wins championships is the cliche, but get the ball back to Bryce.
100%.
I think it's hard to put into words. I'm almost hoping. I can't really say hope. I mean, you got a good team. Every good team is built on a good defense. I mean, you look at the Eagles. They with a mediocre offense. I mean, you had AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon. I can't really say mediocre, but the defense won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, one of my least favorite teams in the NFL just picked up their second Super Bowl. But whatever, we'll move past that. I agree with you. Let me add to your point. Is it still about building around Bryce Young? Yes, it is still about building around Bryce Young. But what you can't have is you cannot, once again, post the league's worst defense. Now I'm going to tell you, it is the worst defense. And let me add to that they gave up a historical number of points against. If you go look at that in the history books, we gave up more points than any NFL team. The fact that Ejiro Evero is still employed is a credit that they're just kind of blaming themselves for not focusing on defense, and they truly believe in his system, because I felt like if you had any doubts about Ejiro, he should have been given his walking papers on Black Monday. Let's call a spade a spade. But indeed, yes, it is still about building around Bryson, because I believe solidly that in this draft you will see them come out with 2 pass catchers, whether that's a tight end and a wide receiver, or 2 wide receivers. Unlikely it's 2 tight ends, but they will come out of this draft boasting 2 new weapons for Bryce Young. I truly believe that in my heart, because I do believe it's still about building around Bryce Young. You haven't found that speedster yet, that guy that can take the top off the defense. You're still in the Xavier Legette experiment. You're still trying to figure out what Jalen Coker is going to represent in this offense. You're still, you're begging for just one more standout year from Adam Thielen, where he can be, on that pace of maybe a 70, 80 plus catch guy. You don't want it because he's older, but if you have to, and that's the way you're able to win a division, that's the path you take. Continuing on the speed round, how to balance win now versus long-term rebuild. What should the Panthers be focusing on right
now? Just building Bryce's confidence.
Yeah.
Just building off of that Atlanta game. Really, Bryce.
I really throw and look away. Right? Like, I don't know what I looked like against the virtual background when I turned to my back, but
so cool.
Dude, that's whole Steph Curry. I mean, people like, oh, it's easy on Steph. I'm like, but it was very Steph-like. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it was nasty.
So
the Panther fan in me thinks we're gonna win the division every year. I'm trying to be realistic.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt that it maybe could be another Tampa Bay, Atlanta Falcon year.
Yeah.
But it's not. We're not far. I just think we just need just a little bit more. I don't, like you said, like the receiver room. We don't have like a Jamar Chase. Like we don't have that guy that just scares defenses yet.
You're
So
right.
I really do. I am excited about the confidence that Bryce is building. I'm hoping that he takes that into this next season.
Yeah.
I definitely see improvement.
Yeah.
It's just, to answer your question, it's tough because you wanna win the division and you want to compete, but you want to also be consistent in that. I think a team like the Saints from like 2017 to 20
Yeah, when
whatever,
they
where
won the
they went to,
division like 4 times,
it was
worst
just like
worst part of
or
my
the
life.
Chiefs. The Chiefs are
Yeah,
a great
the Chiefs
example. Just
a perennial just contender.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean it's honestly like one of the only two of the only players that are still on the team when they started
yeah,
being consistent is Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce. So just building confidence
yeah.
in
I agree.
Bryce, in your quarterback. Like Dave Canales always says, like just making a cult, like building a culture and
You got
forming
to
an
get your football
identity.
right. You got to get your
Yeah,
football right. Yeah.
just forming an identity. Um, I think the rest will kind of take care of itself. But
Yeah. For me, long-term rebuild. I think you need to, so I think Dave Canales has built enough goodwill with Dave Tepper that last year was not an unmitigated disaster, right? Like the Frank Reich era was an unmitigated disaster. I think Matt Rule at the end was an unmitigated disaster. I think Dave Tepper himself has been an unmitigated disaster. I think
yeah,
your bright spots are Dave Canales and Dan Morgan, and they have a little bit of goodwill built in with the owner. I would say is Dave Canales is he win now? No, he isn't. But I think for him and for Morgan to see that their vision is coming true, you want to post a 6, 7, 8 win season, right? I think that's your next level. You just won 5 games, and you put the eventual Super Bowl champions on the ropes. You literally you had a chance to beat them. If XL comes down with that ball, the Eagles are hurt. Like they're not winning that game. If our defense played a little bit better against Pat Mahomes and didn't let him spring up the sideline and put them in the field goal range, you have a chance to beat the Chiefs, right? So they have something there, even with that horrific defense. But as far as long term, you got to make the right choices. You got to pick the right draft picks. You got to make you have to get the contracts right. Like I'm not upset about them not restructuring Taylor Moton's $31 million cap hit. The reason is that you need to, like, he missed his first games this past year. And you got to figure out, okay, it's going to be like a thing. Let's roll the dice and see if he actually earns that extension. And maybe he does, and we have to extend him. But you know what? We may play the age game, and you give him a little bit of pennies on the dollar. Hey, listen, we want you back, but we can't have you back at a $31 million cap hit. And I think he knows that, right? So
right.
I think you have to get the books right? You got to make sure you're not doling out a bunch of contracts. Because if Bryce Young goes out and has a stellar season, you got him on the extension bandwagon next. Right, so you've got to get everything right from that standpoint. You have a young receiver, young receivers in that room, so you're not up against the wall there with money. But you got it. I mean, your offensive line, you paid $100 million out in 2 different contracts between D-Lou and Robert Hunt. I mean, that you build out a lot of money, so you got to be smart along that. You got to figure a way to retool that off the line. Maybe you don't bring Taylor Moton back. So what are you going to do at right tackle? Ike Ekwonu ended up having a better junior season, or if you want to call it his 3rd season, than he was sophomore season, because that was pretty much disastrous under the Frank Reich era. So I think that there's a balance that you have to have. All right, last question in the lightning round. The Morgan mantra. Do you think this is going to be his draft blueprint? You think this is his draft, that he is constructing it, or do you think that Dave Tepper has still got the the marionette thing going on down there, and he's kind of controlling things?
No, I think Dan Morgan's very. I think I don't. I feel like we touched base on it in the
Yeah,
episode. I feel like Dave Tepper kind of took a step back, um, probably for his best interest,
yeah,
and just really let Dave and Dan really kind of take over. You can just see it. You can have it. I feel like you kind of have a sense that Dan has control of the picks,
yep,
and it's kind of been entrusted in him. And it's
yep,
not like he's granted he's a first time GM, but he's
yeah,
been around. been around the best of them.
Right. He's been an
You know,
assistant GM. I mean, he's a player, he's pro personnel in Seattle, and he was assistant GM in Buffalo with Brandon Bean, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, Dan's definitely, he has a pedigree. Haha,
yeah.
Panther pedigree.
I see what
Sorry,
he did there.
dad jokes.
No,
Sorry, I can't
no,
help it. That's what I do.
no,
I'm really good at it.
yep. I'll be right. No, I can't say that. No. I was gonna say I'll be right there with you, but
No.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel confident.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done really good things in the off
Yeah.
season. Last year's draft, I was pretty happy about. So, yeah, I feel like Tepper is kind of rolled back.
I'm with you.
Sure.
I believe this is going to be Dan's blueprint. I think it's the good and the bad, right? Because it's the second draft he's been there, but it's the first full off-season plus draft. So it's been his guys doing all the scouting, right? It's been his guys like doing all the groundwork and going on the visits, and then coming back and giving all the information. And it's his guys now. This is his show. With that comes the great if this goes well, and it also comes the hey, dude, what are you doing if this goes poorly? Right, because before we can say, man, he's trying to clean up Fitterer's mess, right? He's trying to clean up Fitterer's mess, and then Fitterer's, he was, Dave Tepper had Fitterer, wrapped around his finger, and Fitterer, it never felt like Fitterer had like control of the job. It always felt like Dave Tepper was, in the background making the decisions, and Fitterer was just a figurehead. I truly believe that. Like, honest to God, do I really feel like, that this is Dan Morgan's draft. I feel like this is his thumbprint. You watch his interviews. He seems very confident up there. It's like, and he doesn't seem like he's reading off a script. Dan Morgan is one of the least scripted guys you've ever seen when you watch him talk. He's got a lot of ums. He really, he's not polished. And to me, that's authentic because he was a football player. He was a high-end football player. He was a Carolina Panther, and he trained to be a good GM. He didn't train to be a media, savant. He trained to be a good GM. So I find that to be refreshing that he's not this perfect, polished GM that he always answers the questions the right way. He had his press conference. He's, I'm looking for a bunch of dogs, right? Like Luke Kuechly, like Steve Smith. Like, no, that's not polished. That's authentic. That's like he's got a passion for this. He's like, he knows what playing at a high level is. He played for this organization and went to a Super Bowl with this organization back in 2003. So I do believe this is I believe this is Morgan's draft. And again, for good or for bad, however this turns out, it is his draft.
Yeah.
So,
and Panthers fans should be excited about that. I think you want to have somebody in office that is passionate, who's been a former player. That seems to be like a running theme, not just in football, all sports.
Absolutely.
I mean, Dan Campbell, I guess, if we're going to keep it NFL,
100.
played for the team.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, he's beloved by the city of Detroit and
Lions
pretty much
fans
the whole league.
love him. Biting kneecaps. I mean, that thing never gets old. I'm like I heard him say in the press conference, I'm like, this guy's a clown. And he comes out and he turns the Detroit Lions into a freaking contender. So I need to eat that.
So, I mean, yeah, you love coaches like that or managers who, because they really understand, they came up in that team.
Absolutely.
They know the culture, they know the standard.
Absolutely.
So they're really passionate about it. It's not just a check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's not just an investment.
Yeah.
Or as an owner, whatever it may be.
So when most of you see this episode, the draft will be just a little over 24 hours away. I'm gonna go get this thing put up as soon as I can. What I will tell you is that me and Swift, we are going to come back with a reaction show after day one. The draft, I think, kicks off. I think the festivities kick off, earlier in the day, but I think the draft itself kicks off at 7. I think we'll be seeing our first picks around the 8 o'clock hour. So what'll happen is, we're not going to wait till the end of the draft to do it. I think what we'll do is we'll try to, shoot our episode around pick 8, and then while we're shooting, if anything else happens, we'll cover that as well. And then anything else we'll probably do, a quick reel. We were very good with our reels when we were doing this before. So we'll come up with a quick reel and give you some updates if there's a trade up or something like that. And then we'll do a recap after day 1. We'll do a recap after day 2, and we'll do a recap after day 3. And then we'll do an entire draft recap where we're kind of covering the entire draft class and, what we foresee happen. And kind of, some live reactions. We'll do some draft grades, as useless as those are, but people love to hear those. I mean, I definitely go looking for them. So what I'd like to tell you is, We're looking for your comments. We want to know how you think about our show. We want you to like, we want you to comment, and you want us to subscribe. This is only going to work if we can get you, our listeners, to re-engage with us after almost a 2-year hiatus, and make this the premier Panthers podcast on YouTube and all the outlets that we're going to be streaming on. I can tell you that I'm holding our Twitter handle right here. Hopefully it's not over here by the time I do all my editing, but either way.
I saw that the second time.
Yeah, so it always happens. So our Twitter handle is or X, I'm sorry, is at Panther Pedigree. And as you can see under Swift, you can find us on Instagram, also at Panther Pedigree. I have our Blue Sky account, which I assume is also going to be at Panther Pedigree. And we do have a Facebook page, which is called Panther Pedigree. We also welcome all your comments. We'll do a round of answering comments during our draft review show. So if you want to comment on this, I would love to grab the comments and mention you by name. Some of our subscribers, I mean, right now, we ran for 6 weeks 2 years ago. We built up a fan base of 100 subscribers. I'd love to double that in the next couple weeks. And we know, like I said, we'll be doing some coverage. We've committed to doing this, and we're very excited about getting back to it. If you look at our previous podcasts, we have an entire new look and feel. We have the splash board right there, Panther Pedigree podcast. The music's going to be still awesome. The same because I love the music. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
It looks amazing.
Love the music. Love the music. We're not going to change the music, but what I'll tell you is we're going to come to you with some hard-hitting Panthers information. We are Panther fans. We are Panther loyalists, but we're also realists. We can tell you when they do things great. We'll tell you when they do things awful. And we'll tell you when things are just kind of sitting, and we're just sitting and waiting and see how we feel. Like, sometimes it's a wait and see. So we have that as well. What are you most excited about happening in Green Bay? Now, this doesn't have to do with the Panthers. It could be anything about the draft that you've seen over your years of watching the draft. What are you the most excited
about? I'm really interested about. I don't know. It's a good question. I guess I'm interested to see what happens with like the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I am too.
I've been following. I mean, I feel like everyone probably who's watched this, everyone's been following Colorado to some extent. Deion Sanders, now his son's in the draft, which is crazy enough. Probably people who are watching, you guys were around when Deion was in the league, so to see his son be like in the conversation for a top 3 pick, top 5 pick.
And so I got my battle scars, my gray in my beard, that tells me that I was there watching when Deion got drafted to the Atlanta Falcons, and he was doing his thing there. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So it's I mean, usually some guy former players' sons. They're maybe like a Jerry Rice's son was. I think
Christian McCaffrey. I saw Ed McCaffrey play in 2 Super Bowls with John Elway, dude. Like it just hits you. You're like, man, dang it, I'm that old. Like, remember that one time you called me and you were like, yo, dudes that are getting drafted are my age. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's crazy. Yeah, Bryce
I remember when that happened, and it's so I mean, having played the sport, I'm like, man, I'm that, and I'm at that age at that point. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
It definitely gives you some crazy perspective.
It's all about perspective. What am I most excited about Green Bay, man? I wanted to give different news. Let me see. I want to see if there's any crazy trades in the first 10 picks. I picture that we may be involved in one, but I want to see if somebody's going to jump up and make some kind of unexpected move, just give away a haul. I'd love them to give away a haul to the Panthers. Call Dan Morgan. I think the area code should start with 704. Call Dan Morgan and give away all your draft for whatever player you want. I'd enjoy that a lot, actually. Thank you very much. But what I'll tell you is that I'm looking forward to seeing what fireworks happen in the first on day one. I mean, it's always fun, like because the announcers get excited. They're like, oh, so and so just moved up, and they for some reason they always know like a minute before we do who they're drafting. I'm like, okay, go ahead and tell me, like, what do they move up for? So I'm looking forward to that. I was going to say Shedeur. I'm going to see, I was going to say, how far is Shedeur going to fall? Because I think we're probably in for an Aaron Rodgers style fall for Shedeur. And I think that may be good for his career long term, that he has something to prove. I also look forward to that there might be another quarterback story that links to, a quarterback of the past. Could it be another Eli Manning situation? Will Shador get drafted to a team that dad doesn't want him to go to? And will he threaten to sit out, or will he demand a trade? This could be like prime time viewing. Like we could be leading off with non-Panther news for our draft recap show.
I also I will add, I saw something about I've just been seeing like AJ Brown just like unveiling jerseys that he's gotten from Tom Brady and Edelman, and obviously like that year he wanted to I think he grew up a Patriots fan, wanted to go there, and they got N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
And I just saw stuff recently that his car got stolen, so he was kind of a little upset with Eagles fans or the city of Philadelphia. So.
Let's not fake the funk. He wanted to leave last year before they even won the Super Bowl. I mean, he was like the talk, like, where's AJ Brown going? And somehow somebody talked to him and commented. And there was drama about him and Jalen Hurts not getting along. I mean, that thing looks like it's headed toward a divorce, even though that they have a Super Bowl.
It's something to watch out for. I mean, Patriots pick 4th, and I saw Philly is really high on Abdul Carter. So.
And AJ Brown is his former head coach is the New England head coach, because AJ Brown was in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. So lots of stuff to look out for. All right, so Panther family, we're back. We're here to stay. Make sure you're subscribed. Drop us a review. Please drop us a review, right? Give us a comment. Tell us what part of the show you like. Hey, I've got broad shoulders. Tell me what you didn't like. Maybe you're not happy that it went an hour and 10 minutes, because we weren't expecting it to go that long. But we're super happy to be back. So don't miss the live draft recap show. Not live, I'm sorry, it won't be live. I'd love to be live. When we get a bigger fan base, we'll definitely come in live. We'll be dropping right after the draft on day one. And then just to remind you, this is Panther Pedigree. We will be the standard. We'll be the gold standard. Actually, correction, get the word gold out of here. We're going to be the blue standard for podcasts, especially ones
silver
standard. The ones that have to do with our beloved Carolina Panthers. And I'm going to tell you, the Panther Pedigree is where the future starts. I'm going to tell you right now, this is where we're going to be holding it down. So I'm Big P.
Swift.
My man Swift. We're going to get out of here. We're so happy to be back. We'll see you after night 1 of the draft. Be blessed.
Can't wait. Stay safe, guys.